It's the time of year when we have to compile our annual statistical report. These reports are extremely important because they provide our office with data concerning membership, demographics of our members and our advisors, and also information concerning courses that are being taught, SAEs that are being provided, and participation throughout the year. This report is required as part of Bulletin 741. And it will be open from now until September 1st. These reports will cover the 2019 through 2020 school year. So when you're compiling your data, make sure you pull for the school year that just finished. The procedure is the same as last year, but I'll give you a refresher. So you go to the National FFA website at ffa.org. You're going to go to the dashboard here on the top of the website and click on Teachers Advisors. It will pull up your dashboard. You're going to scroll down on the left and click on Manage Chapter Profile. You'll be prompted to log in if you haven't done that yet. So you'll use your ffa.org username and password in order to access the report. Once you log in, you'll see your chapter name here at the top. I'm using Springfield's as the example. You'll see your information. On the left side of the screen, you're going to scroll down and click on Annual Report Data. Once you click on this page, it'll bring up the report. Again, if you did this last year, it should look familiar to you. You'll see the tabs that you'll be filling in here on the top of the page, and each tab will have information down the page. I'll go through each one briefly. The first is the AF&R Pathways tab. For this one, you're going to put the number of students who enrolled in each ag course that you taught. So for example, if you taught this AWS Welding 1 course and you had 20 students who were enrolled in that class this year, you'll put 20 in the box. Click off of it. Let's scroll down. Let's say you taught AgriScience 1 and you had a total of 90 students in AgriScience 1. You'll click 90, or you'll type in 90, then click off of the box. Let's say you had 30 students in Ag 2, you would click that one. And say you had 15 in Ag 3, you'd fill that one in, click off. Now, this one can be duplicated. So if you had a student who was in Ag 3, but was also in this AWS welding class, you can count them on both boxes. This tab, the AF&R Pathways tab, is the only one that we're going to duplicate our numbers on. So you could end up down here at the bottom, it has a running total for you. You could end up with a number that's larger than your unduplicated enrollment because you can duplicate the numbers in those courses. In this box, you'll type in the number of students who have an SAE, and then in this box, you'll type in the number of ag teachers. Every time you put a number into a box, make sure you click out of the box so that it'll put that number in the box. Also, make sure that every time you complete a tab, click on Save. You can find the Save button here at the bottom. You can also find the Save button here at top. If you don't save, your numbers will disappear. We had issues last year with teachers that I put all the data in, then it all went away. You have to make sure you put the number, click off, and then hit Save every time. So you'll do the AF&R Pathways tab. The second tab is your Enrollment tab. This one will already have numbers on the page. It starts with grade 7 if you're a middle school program, or if you have middle school students, goes all the way up to the 12th grade. This is already populating data directly from your FFA roster. So numbers that are going to be popping up on this roster, or that you put in your FFA roster, will already appear. What you'll have to do manually is, if you have students who were in ag but were not FFA members, you're going to have to manually put those in. I know that this can be tedious. This is a very critical piece of information for us, though, because this is the only way that we can know how many actual ag ed students we have in Louisiana. This is not data that we can readily request from the Department of Education. They don't necessarily keep this type of data. This is the only way we can know how many students are actually taking ag classes. This tab cannot be duplicated. So you should count each student one time per grade and by race and ethnicity. So if I have 9th grade, I've got 3 students currently listed here. If I had a black non-Hispanic male that's not counted on the FFA roster, I would type 1, click off of it, and you can see that your number has increased. So make sure you do that for each grade level. So do your 9th grade, make sure it's filled in, click off, and then scroll down and hit Save. Then click over to 10th grade. Fill in anything that's missing, scroll down, hit Save. Do the same thing for the 11th grade, the same thing for the 12th grade. And again, if you're teaching middle school grades, make sure you do grade 7 and 8. Do each grade level tab, scroll down, hit save. Whenever you're done, this gray box, if you do not have 100% FFA membership, this gray box will increase as you add numbers. When you're done, whatever number this ends up being in the gray box, so right now it says 55. If that's your total Ag Ed enrollment, you have to manually type in the same number in the white box. That's just a verification so that you can make sure that you know that your unduplicated count is correct. So whatever number's in the gray box, you're going to manually enter the exact number in the white box. Click off of it, hit save whenever you're done. On this leadership tab, which is the third tab over, this is a little confusing. I asked National FFA to fix that this year. They said they couldn't do it this year. We're going to fix it next year. So I'm going to just let you know what this is. For leadership training, this leadership training is going to be state convention. So make sure you type the number of students that you brought to state convention. For state leadership camp, this will be our area leadership camp. So put in the numbers that you brought to leadership camp. I understand that we have this area district box. We're not going to use that next year. This will be corrected so that it will say state convention and it'll say leadership camp. So for now, just use the state box on both. Leadership training will be state convention. Type your number of students you brought to state convention in this box. This one will be leadership camp. Type the number of students that you brought to leadership camp in this box. These numbers are for last summer. So for the summer of 2019, how many students did you bring to each event? The rest of the tabs are more straightforward. For the CDE tab, you're simply going to type in the number of members who participated in each CDE at each level for the 2019-2020 school year. If you have students who are going to be competing in these CDEs over the summer, that's fine. Again, you don't have to submit this until September, so we can wait until we finish all of our virtual summer CDEs before you finish this page. Same thing for the LDE tab. Most of these have already been completed last winter, but for some of these events like Ag Issues and Conduct, if they'll be competing in those this summer, you can hang on and wait to submit this until after the summer virtual CDEs are over. Same thing for Proficiency Awards. How many members did you have apply for proficiency areas in each one? And then for Ag Science Fair, how many students did you have participate in the Ag Science Fair in each level? Make sure for each of these tabs, put the numbers in and then click Save. Put the numbers in, click Save. If you don't click Save on every tab, it's not going to hold it for you. Once you have filled in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, once you filled in these 7 tabs and you're satisfied and it's done and everything matches, then you'll click Submit. Whenever you click Submit, your report is submitted to the state, and at that point you can't make any changes to it. It'll be locked in. So make sure you finish all the tabs, hit Save on every one, and then hit Submit. When all of that is done, if you click on this Reports tab, you can pull up a copy of your annual report and be able to print that for your school administration going back several years. This is for your reference for you to be able to use. So this is the process that we're going to use again for the annual statistical report. Remember, it's due by September 1st. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us in our office, give us a call, or right now definitely reach out to us by email. Will be your best way of getting in touch with us.